Hello everyone. I was on the internet and I came across some disagreement between the Bible students of today. They claim that Charles T. Russell, their founder, did not make Jehovah Witnesses. Well, it's true he died in 1916 and Judge Rutherford became the second president, and he changed the name to Jehovah Witnesses in 1931. I made a video of why he changed the name of the Bible students to Jehovah Witnesses, so I don't want to get into that because I already made a video of that. Okay, Charles T. Russell, did he help made Jehovah's Witnesses today? Yes, he did. And I'm going to show you the proof and why, and maybe this will get the Bible students quit putting things out saying that he did not make Jehovah's Witnesses. This is the guy named Jehovah's Witnesses. This is the guy that changed the doctrines from Charles T. Russell to what it is today. We go back to Charles T. Russell. Charles T. Russell, when he was with another man, newspaper, they predicted the world was going to end in 1874. When that fell, they changed the date to 1878, saying that in 1914 the world was going to end. Well, after I did some research, he also predicted that the world was going to end in 1910, 1915, and 1918. Now, Jehovah's Witnesses, they only know by the government bodies today that hiding the real truth about the past literature that 1878, 1874 doesn't exist, and 1910 don't even exist, and 1915 don't even exist. But let's keep from 1914. Okay, 1914, Jehovah's Witnesses use that. Where they get that number? From Charles T. Russell. So if Charles T. Russell wasn't around to predict 1914, guess what? There wouldn't be no Bible students today. There wouldn't be no Jehovah's Witnesses today. So how do they get that? Charles T. Russell said it was 607. 607 when the first temple was destroyed. Well, this person you see here, and the second person on the second one is Nebuchadnezzar on the second one. The top one is his father. His father was alive from 609 to 605. He died. Nebuchadnezzar didn't start reigning till 605. So that means 606 and 607 would be a lie, because the Bible says Nebuchadnezzar was in his 20th reign, or 20 years, when he destroyed Jerusalem. So if he took his father's place when it was 605 after his father's death, That means 606 and 607 would be a lie. This is a picture of the Bible students. No, not the Bible students. This is a picture they made of Charles T. Russell. That he was so powerful in his doctrines that he had all the clergymen bowing down to his knees. I mean, this is why they looked at him as a god, a messenger of God. Everybody else was bowing down to his teaching. No, they knew his teachings was a lie. So this picture is a lie. But they published this. And they cut down the clergy people, passing out collection plates. Well, here's the thing. How did Jehovah's Witnesses got their money, them millions and billions of dollars? They got it from Jehovah's Witnesses in the Kingdom Halls. Did they have to pass out collection plates? No. But they didn't. They made it guilty if you didn't put money for the Kingdom Halls, for the governing body and the pioneers, circuit overseers, all these people. I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses gave up so much of their money, they made this business. That's right. That's what Charles C. Russell and Judge Rockford made. It was a big book company that sold millions of books. At that time, it wasn't millions, but they are now today. This is a new chart that I downloaded from the Bible students of, I think it was last year I downloaded this information. This is not an old picture of you finding the literature. Yes, Charles T. Russell teaches that this pyramid predicted that 1914 the world was going to end. And it had other prophecies that person told about Jesus' birth and his death. So this is what Jehovah's Witnesses broke away from Judge Rockford, because he didn't want to teach this stuff anymore, because he found out that it was not working and people was realizing that this pyramid was a lie. So he broke away from the original Bible students and changed the other Bible students into Jehovah's Witnesses. So you had originally two groups of Bible students. So one believed his teaching, one bunch of them believed Charles T. Russell's teaching. That's the reason why he had to change the name, because he could not have two different groups believe two different teachings. So he changed the name to Jehovah's Witnesses. Like I said, I made a video on that. Now, if you go to a Jew's timeline, that's the 18th king, the 19th king, the 20th king, the last king, King Zechariah. Jehoiakim, if that's how you say it, he reigned from 608 to 592. So that means he was a king from 608, 607, 606, 605, all the way down to 597. So that means Charles T. Russell taught that King Zechariah was the king in 607. This is the real truth. So Jehovah's Witnesses stole the teaching from Charles T. Russell, saying it was 606, but they changed it to 607. But do you see the proof here? You can go to the internet. You can find this out. Zechariah was the last king. He died in 586. So there's no way he could have been a king up to 608 when there was already another king. So that proves Judge Rockford did not change all the teachings of Charles T. Russell, because if he did, he would have found by research that Jerusalem fell in 586, 580, or 587. So So he didn't change all the teachings of Charles T. Russell. In 1920, 1921, he wrote 2 books talking about the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all of them was going to come back alive. He had problems with some kind of ailment. His doctor told him he needs to stay, you know, the winter in California because it was not colder like it is New York City. So his fathers believed him so bad that these prophets was going to come alive. In 1929, they built this house for the ancient prophets that he predicted that was supposed to come alive in 1925. There's the name of the house, Beth Sherim, the house of the princess. Where he died? He died in California. He died in San Diego. And they made this house into a historical landmark. There's a number you can that I made a video of. You can see that number on a bunch of historical landmarks. So you can look for historical landmarks 747 on the sheet, and you'll see this place. Now these men, they predicted the world was going to end in 1975. You got Nathan Noor, and back there somewhere you got you got Raymond Ferries in there, which he walked out of the governing body. His uncle's in here. But the thing is, yeah, there's Fred Friends all the way to the top to the left. A chart of 1975. They still use 1914. Charles T. Russell's one of his teachings. Talk about 1968, 15 years later. The world was going to be really dangerous to live in 1975, but guess what? Nothing happened in 1975, and they told us that in their literature, they put out that the world was going to end in autumn, and Armageddon was supposed to start. My honest opinion, they should have put Charles T. Russell into a nut house and never let him out for being a false prophet. And this picture here, everybody bowing down to him, just like if he was Messiah or if he was God. And he was neither. He was a false prophet, and Jehovah's Witnesses follow him from his teachings from 1914, 1918. Predictions in the literature to prove, and that's reason why Jehovah's Witnesses is still part of Charles T. Russell's founder, because of his teaching. And they should have kept this guy in jail, because he would never wrote those 2 books or 3 books and 4 books about 1925 that all these faithful men of Abraham, Isaac, Abel, Moses, Daniel would be resurrected. And Beth Sherim would never have been built. Before I close, the history of Jehovah's Witnesses. Charles T. Russell, Joseph Friends, Nathan Noor, all the way down to Don Adams. What's this called? The history of Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not the true name. What this thing should have said. It says, the history of the false prophets. If it weren't for Charles T. Russell, there wouldn't be Bible students believing in lies from Charles T. Russell's teaching. There wouldn't be Jehovah's Witnesses, because none of these, Joseph Franklin Rutherford would never been a Bible student, or better yet, he was a lawyer for Charles T. Russell, because Charles T. Russell got himself in a bunch of predicament, so he had to hire a lawyer to save his little rear end out of court cases. And one of them was with his wife. She divorced Charles T. Russell. So people, if it weren't for Charles T. Russell, his 1914 predictions and 1918 predictions, there wouldn't be no Bible students. There wouldn't be no Jehovah's Witnesses. And in 1878 prediction would never, this guy was crazy. All of them was crazy. But if it went for one man, there wouldn't be Jehovah's Witnesses. There wouldn't be Bible students. So the reason why there's these men doing what they did, because the Bible predicted that Charles T. Russell was going to do this. Predicted that Joseph Franklin was going to predict the world was going to end. False prediction. Nathan Noor, false prediction. Fragrant Friends with Nathan Noor, false predictions. And these two false predictions said this generation would never pass. Dot Adams changed it to overlap generations. So all these here, the history of the false prophets, not Jehovah's Witnesses, not Bible students, false prophets. Jehovah's Witnesses and Bible students was invented by Charles T. Russell and Joseph Smith. So that means two groups worldwide is believing in lies, and they are involved in false prophecy. Thank you and have a nice day.